All you got to do is say it. You really didn't have to touch me. Oh, where it is? Bring my black. I'm right here. Bring my black. I'm right here. Come on, let's go.
Like I said, why don't you have your friend pick up your friend? You walk out. I know, but I need you to walk out with me, okay?
I'm not gonna leave out here. And y'all being rude to us. No.
Isn't this your friend as well?
She ain't got nothing to do with it.
Okay, this shit is how. And they kicking me out. Just give me my money back. I just gave him the receipt. Just give me my money back. What do you want?
Her money back?
Money. Y'all ain't gonna handle me like that. I spent so much money up off of her. Give me my money back.
Period.
That shit cold.
Make sure you put in y'all not cooperating at all.
Tell them that they need.
Y'all not cooperating.
Tell them what happened first.
I mean, but still.
What still what?
Cooperate. It's unnecessary. All this is unnecessary. They're asking you to leave and you're not leaving.
We getting our food.
Can we get our money
The food's
in,
too late.
It's not.
No, it's not.
We getting our food.
How much is it?
$59.99, $49.99, $49. Shit, badass.
Mine's
paying for it.
I'm just being honest. Give me
And
my
mine was
$20.
22.
Y'all don't leave.
Yeah, mine's my food too. No, my food. Yeah, okay.
Bye.
Fuck you mean? We gone. Y'all ain't gotta touch me. Come on. No, look, you don't have to move me. Don't touch me. Don't. I am. I'm back as soon as they walk out. Okay. I promise you, they got the whole motherfucking field out here. Weird ass. Let it be a nigga though. Come on, Jay. Fuck them. They ready for some shit like that. You know it's Pride Month. Everybody gay. Bitch. Everybody gay.
Okay. And I know what's your name.
Stop walking her. I'm pushing her. Why you coming up? Why you coming up? I'm getting her.
I don't give a fuck about none of that.
Walking up. How steady walking up? Y'all gonna have to. Y'all stop touching me. Girl. Bitch, go to the car. I got something for everybody.
Go. I'm recording all of y'all.
Go. David, I've been chilling. They started pushing us. They started pushing us. If it was some niggas with us, they wouldn't do that shit. On my life. Hey, come on.
Let's go.
You was probably mad. Oh, okay. She pregnant. All right. Lawsuit. Come on, Jazz.
No.
Man, come on, Jazz.
I'm recording them.
All right, we gonna. That's a word. We put a.
Like he finna hit somebody. Bitch, come on. That's okay. I'll be in there. I'll be in there, bitch. I'll be in there. Do all that tough talking. I'll be in there.
She tried to get the fucking police. Dummy. That is right.
y'all tripping. Hey, cause I wasn't in the club. I came. I ain't with them. What you mean? I'm recording this. I'm recording the scene. My car over here.
Let's go.
Hey, come on.
My eye.
I know.
It's burning my motherfucking eye, fam. My eye, fam. My eye.
Say they just shot them, fool. They just shot London. What the fuck? Damn, London. Come on, London. What the fuck you doing? Hey. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? Seriously, man. It wasn't even fucking serious, man. Come on, man. They was fucking following them out. Hey. It's London? My homegirl?
Babe, we can't get out.
Hey, we at ecstasy. Hey, the security just shot up my baby mama homegirl car. Hey, this lady right here. Hey, this lady right here was the main culprit. Hey, what London at? What London at?
Ashley!
The police. Hey, London! London, you alright? London, you alright, baby?
Hey, back up.
Hey, that's my homegirl. What you mean? Hey, y'all shot my homegirl, man. Goddamn, it wasn't that serious. It wasn't that serious, man. Y'all shot my homegirl, man. Y'all shot her. Y'all, that's murder. That's murder. That's murder. That's murder. That's murder. Hey, that's murder, fam. That's murder. That's murder. That's murder, fam.
Let's go.
I'm gone, but that's murder.
Get in your car. Let's go, man.
Hey, don't shoot me. Y'all see this? Don't shoot me.
Now, right now, you're criminal trespass.
I'm not criminal trespass.
You've been told to leave 20 minutes
No,
ago.
you
Let's
didn't.
go.
I wasn't with him.
I don't care who
I'm
you
just
with.
a spectator.
You were told to leave. Yes or no?
Nope.
Bullshit.
I just got here.
Bullshit.
I just pulled over here.
Let's go.
Because I
Get in
seen
your car.
y'all shooting.
Let's
Hey,
go. Get in
y'all
your car.
see this? Hey,
Let's go. Let's go.
y'all, that's murder. That's murder. That's murder. White folks murdering black folks.
Get in your car and go.
White folks murdering black folks. London dead. They murdered her. That's murder. That's murder. You a murderer. You a murderer. You a murderer.
Get in the car. Let's go.
Come on, let's go. Lord, there you died. London dead.
London on the ground over there.
London dead. Take me to my friend.
You a murderer.
Let's go.
No, leave him alone, David. Leave him. Shut the fuck up.
You're a white murderer.
Get that way. That way.
You're a white murderer.
I don't want to life for it.
You racist piece of shit.
Go.
No, David.
Racist ass bitch.
David, I'm
Fuck your
telling
club, nigga. Your club being on the news in the morning, motherfucker.
No, y'all
You going
can't
to the
say
news
my
in the
son
morning.
like
You
that.
done for. You done for.
Let's go.
Stop, please, David. Where is Lundy?
Up here on the ground.
Where's she at?
Y'all murder. That's murder.
No!
Let's go.
That's murder, fam.
No! Shut up! Shut up!
fuck-
Take me to my friend. Take me to my friend.
They ain't gonna let me get out. They probably put my own.
No, y'all, please go. Come on, y'all, please get out the way. Come on, please help me. No!
That's her right here on the ground there.
No!
In the front. No! No!
Right here. Over here.
Don't take me to.
Right here. On the ground.
Take me to.
That's her on the ground.
No, take me to. No, take me to.
She moving. She moving. They not gonna let you go.
Not there. She shot up.
And they friends don't
They shot my baby.
I'm licensed, goddammit. That's why I can't know her. We trying to see.
We family members. That's my baby. Wait. Hey, ask the Dallas police. Ask the Dallas police what you can do.
Can I get
Hey, talk to the Dallas. Talk to the Dallas police. We want to talk to the Dallas police.
She was shot in the chest for her people.
We is the people. We need to talk. My phone. Call my phone, Sam. We need to talk to the police. We family.
I need quality. I need quality. Where's quality number?
Where's my phone?
I'm gonna pull over here. Let me pull over.
I need quality number.
My day. My day. No. No. All right, but stay back. Stay back. Stay back. Stay back. Stay back. Stay back. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. We need to talk to the police. I call Quaddy right now. Call him right now. Call him right now, fam. Call him. Oh my God. Huh? Yeah. They was putting him out the club and they followed him to the car. And then when they was getting in the car to pull off, they started shooting at him. Call Quaddy. Quaddy. No, that's not Quaddy. No, she not. But she shot in the chest. They shot her in the chest. They shot two people. Both. They shot through the car. They shot the whole car up. Hey, we need to talk to the Dallas police. I need to speak with an officer. I need to talk to the officer. I need to talk to the officer that's my family member. I need to talk to an officer. I'm not leaving her out here to die. I'm by her by the car. I need to talk to a Dallas police officer. That's my family member. That's my family member. Y'all need to know we family. We're here. Y'all ain't talking to us, letting us know what's going on. Is she all right? Let us know something. Is she okay? Y'all stay talking about leave. Why we gonna leave her out here? What we look like leaving out here? Yeah, this lady right here and the dude, where he go? He over there somewhere. The dude with the that was right there, walking right there.
Why? When they was in the car?
They put him out the club. They put him out the club, right? Because it was for the clothes. Yeah. Two of them were shooting. Hey, look, when they was putting them out, they followed them to the car like 10 of them. Because they started shooting at the car when they was pulling off. Because they tried to say when they pulled out, they tried to hit one of them. They shot her and there's another one over there that got kind of probably grazed or whatever. But she was driving. She was the one driving.
Who is this lady?
This is my baby mama. They best friends. Ivy, did you call Quality?
Yes, she was talking to Quality. Nah, just stop, because they gonna take you. They said just wait.
She wasn't even in the club.
They gonna put her up, man.
She wasn't in the club.
I wasn't, and I got sprayed with
We
Mike.
came up here to get them.
Was she in the car?
She was in the car. This what happened. I got everything on film.
Yeah, I seen it too. I seen everything.
They followed them to the car, and then when they was getting in the car, when they bagged out to go pull out,
And they started
dude felt like he was falling, like he was hurting or whatever. And then that girl and that dude right there started shooting. And then
in the shoulder and the forearm.
Shoulder and the forearm. Taylor. What about the other girl right here? She
got hit by a car.
She got hit by a car. What's she going? She not going to family.
We're trying to get everything situated. Huh?
Why did y'all start busting?
Yeah, it wasn't no reason. I got it all on film. Was she back?
I don't know who shot what.
That I don't know. You went out there. It was this girl. It was this girl. It was this girl. This girl right here and that guy right there. The one that's walking back with the pants, black pants on. Them two. Them was the two shooters.
Why was they busting though?
So, did you see what happened? I got it. I'm recording.
You got it all on video?
Hey, I came up here to pick them up. Cause I just got work.
Yeah.
I ain't been in the club. I just came up here to pick them up. When I come to pick them up, they was walking them out. So they walked them to the car. When they walked to the car, my baby mama, she with me. She came with me. She going to get her friend. So when she going over there, they started spraying. This lady right here started spraying. She started spraying a pepper spray. So they started running.
Oh, wait, when you say spraying, you mean just
they sprayed pepper spray first.
Okay.
First. That's before they got to the car. And then when they go to the car, they get to the car. And they get in the car, they all around the car, so they bagging up. And the guy that was by the driver's side door, he do all this. And then this lady and the guy with the black pants on with the black shirt with the mustache, the white guy, they started shooting. Them the two started shooting.
So
and the guy got off the ground and started shooting when the car was way over here. They could have hit any bystanders. They was shooting wildly. I got it all on film.
The white female here?
This lady right here.
The white female?
She the first one. She was sprayed first.
Okay.
She sprayed pepper spray first.
What I'm concerned about.
Hold on.
What I'm concerned about is who started shooting this. Which one's the one shooting?
This lady right here, and it was the guy, the white guy, the one that.
Detective right there. She called her, shot up. All the doors over. Cars over there, red. Got the police over there. What's going on in this? Possible homicide. Anytime.
Shut it down tonight. What do we want?
More than a day after a woman was shot in a parking lot of a Dallas business, she was shot and killed. Her family wants to see that business closed. Family members just talking tonight to our Alexis Wainwright. Alexis is live now near that scene. This is near North Stemmons Freeway with more on all of this. Alexis.
Well, Steve, I can tell you within the last few minutes, more people showing up here. This is the second night of protests outside of this business, and friends and family of Shalonda Lofton Anderson say they just want to bring more awareness to what happened Saturday morning. This group is calling for something to be done after Dallas police say a security guard at Ecstasy Cabaret shot and killed Shalonda Lofton Anderson just after 5 a.m. Saturday.
My message for this is not fair. No part of this was fair. No part of this makes sense. Who was left behind was Shalonda Anderson, and her three kids was left behind. I'm sorry.
She's there for anybody. She probably don't even know you, but she would be there for you if you needed her. And she
That type of person was just hurt.
You know it's problem.
Some of her last moments were shown in this Facebook Live video posted by Anderson.
Okay.
Dallas detectives are investigating but won't reveal what happened before the shooting took place. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for the cabaret released this surveillance video and in a statement said the shooting happened after guards were motioning to Anderson that she was driving the wrong way through the parking lot.
But it's the exit. She was coming this way toward this car.
The statement goes on to say, reportedly fearing for her life, the security guard shot the driver as the guard was being hit and before the driver could seriously injure or kill others.
I see them trying to jump in the car to stop her, to keep her from going out.
But a witness and a friend questions that account.
As soon as she put it in drive, boom, gun. The guy jumped. When he jumped and bumped into the other guys, they was already the gun. Fire, 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 fire. They was already shooting. And she backed up. They was around the car all the way like this. That's why they only showed that part.
They don't get no peace.
Family and friends say they'll keep pushing in hopes for justice.
It's on my heart. And I can't rest. I can't settle till something get done.
And I feel like this situation for them to still open and be in business is not appropriate. It's not acceptable. It's sending out the wrong message that you guys are going to open after this young lady was killed on y'all property.
And police say a second security guard also shot at that vehicle that Shalonda was inside of. Meanwhile, a grand jury referral will be filed with the Dallas County District Attorney. Meanwhile, friends and family here say they want that business to be closed. They plan to stay out here late tonight and be back out here again and every day they feel necessary. Reporting live tonight in Dallas, Alexis Wainwright, CBS 11 News.
Okay, Alexis, thank you.
How did a simple disagreement over a food transaction quickly escalate into the tragic and avoidable loss of life of a 32-year-old Dallas mother of three?
Hey man, check this out, man. Everybody need to flood their timeline, man, and say justice for Shalonda, man. Hey, this matter need to be taken care of, man, ASAP, man. That security guard was wrong with what he did. He dry killed this woman, left these babies behind. Man, this shit hurt. I mean, not just outside of town, but the whole city. And you niggas with these big-ass platforms and these bloggers always posting all this negative shit, man, y'all need to get on it and post this shit here, man. This a serious matter at hand, man. Y'all need to take care of this shit, man, legally or criminally. We gonna get on the S&P.
Before they got outside of DG's.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Really like the one they got outside of Ecstasy. Ecstasy kill, motherfucker. They got the killing security guard. Them the motherfuckers you need.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on that situation, man? Because it looks like the lady was exiting, and the situation happened in the parking lot.
Yeah, that drunk ass bitch know not to be trying to drive that goddamn car to them people. Nigga, them folks ain't wrong. Bitch, stop the goddamn car and go to jail. You drunk. You go kill somebody, we done already made your motherfucking ass you can barely see. Bitch, we put you out for a reason. Yeah, niggas just want to be mad. That's
right now. But at some point, are we designated to change the energy or the vibration or the movement of what we see around us? Like when do we be self-accountable? And that's the only reason why I'm speaking on the ratchet shit, because the ratchet shit is what makes it look like it was okay to do that, even though you know damn well it's wrong. You know damn well it's wrong, but when you listen to the girl talk, it's like it's okay because somebody sounds ratchet. Somebody don't know how to act, what somebody would say act in public. All these different things where they can make it look a certain way, but that ain't what's happening. Oh man, listen.
It's about all the similar incidents that has happened in the past. So we just want to call out to any high-ranking officials, anybody that you know, that are movers in the city, you know, don't just look at a small sample size snapshot of these events that occurred on the night my sister got killed, but all the details, everything needs to be thrown in the pot. Everything needs to be analyzed, everything that happened leading up to it, because certain incidents has a domino effect. One thing leads to another, so everything needs to be broken down. Do not just, you know, just pick out one thing. We just want to call out to anybody who can make a difference, you know, because it's not, like I said, it's not about just my sister, it's about everything that's happened in the past, you know, in all the similar incidents, and the prospect that this could possibly happen again. It can happen again if nothing is done.
Secondly, where did she ram this vehicle into a group of security guards? Where at? Where at? That's an obvious lie. That is an obvious lie. But because they released that statement and they planted that seed in y'all head, as soon as you saw that video, that's what y'all ran with. That's what you ran with, because they planted that seed. But if you go back and you look at that video and you take time to look at that video and interpret what actually happens in that video, I promise you, you're not seeing none of that from the video that was released. What you're going to see is a vehicle headed in the direction of a group of security guards. You're going to see that. Yes, I can't deny that. You're going to see that right there. But you're not going to see from the video that was released where she struck anybody, where she ran into anybody, where the said shooter or any other security guard was pinned between two vehicles. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see that from that video. Not the video that I saw. You're not going to see none of that. So for all of you who are talking about, yeah, this happened, yeah, she did that, that's a lie. And I challenge any of you who are saying that to show me where you saw this in the same video that everybody saw. I'm challenging you to show me that. And if you can't show me that, you need to retract your statement, because you are further assassinating Shalonda's character.
I'm the mother of Shalonda Anderson, and there's no way I can just not speak. I have to say something. I didn't want to speak, but that's my child that I birthed into this world. She was, and I have to speak. I just want everybody that can help us to please help us bring this justice, and for not only for me, my children, and for my family, for my 3 precious grandbabies. And I mean, they are so precious.
I don't need to be there. You're asking me, and you're the only one I'm gonna address. I don't need to be there. I've seen the same video like everybody else did. The only difference between me and everybody else is I know how to interpret a video. I know how to interpret a sequence of events and not just run with some shit. That's the difference between me and several other people that saw that video. So
you may not know it, but if you start getting death signs in your family, you may need to pay close attention. Start gathering with your family, telling your family that you love them. Sometimes you don't know what's coming about. Me and my sister was riding in the car, and we said, you know what? We say, thank God. There has never been a tragic death in our family.
I said that shit too.
And we were saying, how in the world would we take it if one of our children died or was killed? How would we be able to take that?
I'm what to say, man. I'm telling you, man. One thing about me, I'm an analyst. I'm an analyst. I'm an analyst of many situations. I am. I'm an analyst, and I try to think before I speak, and I try to speak effectively. And again, I try to speak effectively so everybody can understand.
Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. Say her name. What do we want? Justice. 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 When do we want it? 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 When? 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 All right.
I'm encouraging every last one of y'all to go back and look at that video. Go back and look at that video. And if you can substantiate what they have released officially, tag me in it. Tag me in it. Tag me in it. Tag me in it.
Kid, I see you shaking over there. Yes, they look real good. Okay, Thank y'all.
Y'all come out the way for all those recording. They coming their way.
Alright, when we get to the green mat, it's going to be blocked, so watch your steps. Keep her up the whole time.
City Council passed an ordinance earlier this year saying that sexually oriented businesses should shut down between the hours of 2 and 6 a.m. because police say that's when the most crimes happen. Right now, that ordinance remains in limbo.
OG Parker.
And if the beat live, you know Lil Ju made it. Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Post me a pic, finna make me a profit. When the liquor hit, then the bitch get toxic.
Why the fuck you in the club when niggas wild?
I've been lit since brunch, that shit. Order 42 for the table, let's pop shit. Missionaire or doggy style on my top shit. Pussy ass niggas hating on me from the closet. Hoes trying to call me a snake, shit, I guess I can relate. Cause a bitch spit a whole lot of venom. And since these hoes all rats, when they come around me, all I see is a whole lot of dinner. I walk around the house butt naked and I stop at air mirror just to stare at my own posterior. I don't give a fuck who talk behind my back, cause the bitch knew better than to let me hear. Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Hands on my knees, hands on my knees, hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Hands on my knees, hands on my knees. Hoes said they wish a bitch would, and I'm a genie. Bitch so hot, gotta stay in bikinis. He got a girl, but he keep begging to see me. I love it when a nigga got a mouth full of BBs. No, I'm not a patient, but I let him treat me. I gotta be a doctor, how I'm ordering CCs. Go to your place, no face, no case. 99% tent in a blacked out race. I remember hoes used to clap for me happily. Now I'm bossed up and them same hoes mad at me. Acting like they riding whole time trying to pass me. Watching me go through it, still trying to drag me. Acting like you winning if you think about it actually. Are they supporting you or really just attacking me? I don't give a fuck about a bro trying to bash me. I'm the shit per the Recording Academy.
What's going on, guys? So, against all odds, I have achieved my goal of getting off the handful of video projects, and community posts that I had mentioned to you guys I wanted to get off before the end of summer. Now, of course, most people consider the end of summer the end of August, but in case you don't know, summer officially ends September 22nd. So I'm not sure if this video is, when you're actually listening to it and when it's premiering, if this video was first broadcast by the time I uploaded and everything, by or before September 22nd, but I am glad to report that I was able to produce it before September 22nd, which is officially the beginning of the fall season. From here, I'm hoping to revisit some major video projects that I've been telling you guys about from last year that I never got a chance to get to because this year has just been so hectic and so busy for me that I just didn't have the time to complete them. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but this should mark the official end of the summer series for the Brian Too Bad TV Solange show. Now, just real quick, I'm gonna start doing this more often. Make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe button, and at your discretion, if you like, be sure to hit me up on PayPal, Venmo, or become a subscriber on my Patreon. If you support the content, if you like the commentary that I put out in both my YouTube blogs and my video vlogs, be sure to, or feel free to show your support if you want. There's no pressure, but I do appreciate the few supporters that I do have that are willing to show that support financially through donation whenever they so choose to do so. Now, as I said, this was this is the last video of the summer series for the Brian Too Bad TV Salon show. Yet ironically, it was one of the first issues. It was one of the first events that I wanted to transform into a video project that I decided I was going to speak on all the way back at the beginning of the summer. This case actually began June 25th. I probably took notice of it maybe 2 days later, when there was a lot of hoopla on social media about this incident in Dallas, where this ThugThot Shalonda Lofton Anderson was shot and killed outside of a Dallas club called the XTC Cabaret after trying to clearly run over security guards. When I saw, you know, everything, the story, everything behind the story, I decided very quickly that this was a intriguing piece that I had to delve further into, because, you know, although we've seen on several different occasions, you know, these wild hyenas, as I call them, and she-boons, as some of y'all call them, act out of pocket and wind up meeting their demise as a result. Just the uproar of this, the uproar from this case, you know, the whole didn't do nothing crowd. It's just, it's really, it's intriguing. It's almost laughable the way the overriding majority of black people's minds work. Okay, and you know, you're just, as a black person, and David Carroll alluded to this on several occasions. As a Negro with a brain inside your head, you just sit down and you look at these savages and you listen to them, and you're left scratching your head like, how can you be that fucking egg-headed? How can you be that fucking clueless? You know, I remember this case particularly, but many cases before it as well, takes me back to several years ago when I was working security for a company, and I was not a private contractor like I am now, and I was a training supervisor, and I was a training manager. They put me in this booth, this security booth, where we were guarding a plant. We were, you know, checking people in and out of a plant, checking their vehicles, checking their ID. And they had this new hire, this trainee, this hood whore. I forget her name, but I believe many moons ago, back in, it was either 2015 or 2016, it was back in the early years of the Brian Too Bad TV Salon show. I did a video on this hood whore, and I secretly recorded the conversation that we were having in the booth. And, you know, it was an argument. At first it started as a conversation, then it turned into an argument about why her and her little Getonian friends are always getting harassed and locked up by the police. And one of the things that she constantly mentioned was about how her and her friends were, you know, always doing or involved in either semi-legal or illegal activity. But she was still frustrated that the police were always constantly in their lives, in their face, you know, hauling some of them off to jail. And it's like, this bitch just couldn't, she did not have enough cells to generate enough, you know, beta waves in her brain to figure out why the police are always, you know, outside of, you know, whatever Section 8 shithole she came from. It's like, you're telling me that you and your friends are out smoking weed at a time back in those days when weed was illegal in the state of Illinois. You're telling me about how, you know, niggas are shooting up the block. I mean, you're telling me how some of your friends are drinking underage. And then you're wondering why this stuff is happening to you? And, you know, I was sitting there listening to this chick, and back then, you know, I wouldn't even dare try to have a conversation. Well, she started talking to me. That's what happened. The bitch started talking to me because she got bored. At first, when she came in, she had a fucking, you know, one of them typical, you know, black bitch attitudes. But as the day evolved, you know, we have 8 hours. You know, I had to take her through a checklist of stuff I had to go over with her, you know, because they only got 1 day of training, because it was a cheap ass agency I was working for, subject for another video. But after that, it was just basically silent time, you know, just put her in the field, so to speak, and have her check cars in and out. And in between cars coming through the, you know, to the checkpoint, we really didn't have nothing to do with play on our phone. And so because the black bitch, you know, she just has to be noticed. She just has to get attention. She saw that I was being quiet. You know, I wasn't trying to talk to her like the Pookie from her hood would. So she struck up a conversation with me. We started talking, and then we got into this argument about why the police are always, you know, harassing niggas for doing dumbass shit. And keep in mind, this was around the time, this was, you know, right around the time that the whole Freddie Gray, you know, Michael Brown, Ferguson riots thing was going on. And I'm just sitting here stunned, listening to this bitch. And I remember somehow we got into an argument over the legality of marijuana. Now, keep in mind, in Illinois, in the state of Illinois, where I reside now, marijuana is legal. I believe they legalized it in 2020, but don't quote me. It may have been 2019. But at the time, in 2015 or 2016, it wasn't legal. Okay? And her talking about, you know, police harassment because of them smoking weed was one of the flashpoints of the conversation devolving into an argument, right? Oh God, I wish I still had that. I wish I still had that recording, because it was fucking hilarious. So we're going back and forth, and she said some stupid shit. I told her at the time, that I've never had a problem with police because I don't, you know, do criminal shit, right? And so then she says, exactly. This is the logic of these unintelligible fucking Getonian apes. She tells me this is her logic. Exactly. You ain't never done nothing to get in trouble or something like that. She didn't say it like that, but she said it almost as if there was something wrong with me for not doing stupid shit to get myself in trouble with the law. It was fucking hilarious. And I'm sitting back like, wait a minute. You're trying to discredit my argument. You're trying to discredit my point of view about your perspective on law enforcement in the black community by demonizing me for not doing things to break the fucking law to get in trouble. What the fuck type of sense does that make? And then I'll never forget, and I think I even titled the video with her infamous quote that I will never forget. And keep in mind, this was when I was in the middle of walking down that, what the late great David Carroll called that proverbial rabbit hole. I was still in the process of walking through that rabbit hole. At the time, I was in a relationship with a bitch that I shouldn't have been in a relationship with. I was working a 9 to 5. A lot was going on, but I was walking through that rabbit hole, and, I had come to some realizations starting in 2014 about, the black bitch and about the black community and about this slave religion that Negroes, including those in my family, worship so much, called Christianity. But I had not, gotten to that point of no return where I transferred into the Marlboro Man mindset, right? But when she said this was what really fucking did it for me. This was what made me understand why these savages, when, the liberal news media, hypes up some case of some criminal ass nigga doing some criminal ass shit and winds up meeting his demise by being killed or otherwise fucked up by the cop, even though niggas kill and fuck each other up, constantly, shooting and stabbing and running over each other all the fucking time. This was when I realized why these Negroes have this attitude, this mentality. She said when I showed her on my phone proof, because she was trying to tell me that marijuana was legal. I'm like, okay, whore, if marijuana is legal, again, it wasn't legal at the time, why are the police constantly fucking with you for that and other stupid shit that you admit that y'all be doing? And so then I showed her on my phone the Illinois statute at the time that marijuana wasn't legal, right? And so she comes back, because the black bitch, and this is really a video that I really wish I could have. This is one of the times that I do wish that FS Avenger was still here. Even if I could just put it up as my own personal website right now. Like I said, I don't have the time or the resources to do that. But this is a moment that I wish I had FS Avenger, because this is one of them videos where I feel like I'm gonna go in hard in the paint, and I gotta control myself, because while YouTube does, they're not as hard as they used to be with the censoring. They do, and they will still censor your ass and take your shit down. So, but nonetheless, so when I showed her the proof of the Illinois statute, she comes back and she says, quote, "Facts don't always matter," unquote. I'm gonna say it again. She said, "Facts, F-A-C-T-S, don't always matter." And the argument pretty much went downhill from there. It pretty much went downhill from there. And that facts don't always matter almost rhymes with Black Lives Matter, but nonetheless, those 4 words that she ranted to me when she realized that I had caught her in the spider web of truth and she couldn't get out of it. And she said it like she meant it. Those 4 words uttered out of that stupid bitch's mouth. Thankfully, she quit like almost the next day. I don't know if it was my rebuttal or what, but I was so glad when I heard that she wasn't coming back for her shift on the next day, because I was tired of that. It was actually, believe it or not, because before, when you work for any type of agency, whether you're a nurse, whether you're, a security guard, whatever, you have to go to where they send you. It's not like a permanent job, so to speak. And so before that, they had me working a real nice gig, doing an overnight watchman gig at this little plant in town. And I liked that gig because, it was so easy going. It was just nothing but me in this big old plant. Boy, I ain't gonna even say the type. Anyway, that was a good gig. I'll say that. I did a lot with that. But this second place they had me to, it was Second Shift, and unfortunately, Second Shift is when, you know, all the hood urchins and fucking ne'er-do-wells are up and moving around. It's not early morning when them niggas are still sleeping off that hangover from all that fucking malt liquor and Hennessy and marijuana and other crap they put in their bodies. And it's not, you know, overnight when they at the club or, you know, riding dick. So Second Shift, like between 4 p.m. or between 3 p.m. and 8 or 9 p.m., you know, that's the worst possible time to be working anywhere, especially an agency. And so, you know, it got to a point where it was just hood rat after hood rat. Because, you know, Pookie, he don't work. He don't have to, because he's going to lay up on his baby mama, you know. So like 90% of the black new hires were between like 18 years old and like 25 years old. And almost all of them were multicolor weave, dark skin, obnoxious, loudmouth, or disrespectful, you know, she-boons. And it was just getting on my fucking nerves to the point where one day, between that and some other little silly shit where they changed rules and protocol on us, I was just like, fuck it. And literally, that was the last 9-to-5 dead-end fucking job I had at entry level or management. From that point on, I was a contractor. That was 6 years ago, and I ain't looked back since. But anyway, not trying to tell y'all my whole life story. Back on this bitch. Facts don't always matter. I think if I didn't title this video that, I should have. Because that is really the ideological foundation, with an emphasis on the idiot, for what we're going to discuss in this video about this incident which occurred in Dallas. Okay. Now, let's look at, let's, you know, just for a second here, let's set aside that, you know, Shalonda Anderson Lofton is ghetto. Let's set aside the fact that, you know, she's a typical, you know, conceited, disrespectful, airheaded, egotistical, loud, ratchet, ignorant, tatted up black female. Let's set aside the fact that, I mean, it's almost frightening how much she looks like America's favorite hood rat, Sha'Carri Richardson. I mean, if you look at Sha'Carri Richardson in this picture, and you look at this bitch, this Shalonda Lofton Anderson bitch in this video, and put them side by side, I mean, they literally look like damn near identical twins. Okay? I was just joking to myself. I said, this is what Sha'Carri's gonna look like 10 years from now, because Shalonda Anderson is 10 years her elder. I think Sha'Carri's 22 years old, born April 6th or something, 2000, and Shalonda Anderson was born March 25th or something like that, 1990. So, I mean, they're almost identical. Similar tats, similar face, similar nose, similar curly weave, similar attitude. They come from the same fucking city. I said that's exactly what Sha'Carri is gonna look like in 10 years when she get out of shape and she hit that wall. Though I will say, I think Shalonda was a little more light skinned than Sha'Carri. But other than that, I mean, for a minute, I literally thought that they were related. I thought that was like her older sister. I was like, holy shit. But set all of that shit aside for a second. Set all that aside. Okay, let's look at the facts. according to the facts, from everything that I've been able to compile, Shalonda Lofton Anderson, age 32, she leaves her not one, not two, not three, but 4 illegitimate children alone with her sisters and mother. Well, actually, she left 3 kids at home, and she took one with her because, according to several credible rumors and reports, she was pregnant with a 4th child. And when you look at some of her recent pictures, it does look like she has a little bit of a baby bump there. And she goes to this club, this popular but very infamous club, the XTC Cabaret, which is a nude club. It's a strip club, okay? With 3 of her female friends, including one who is pregnant, okay? They get to the club and they go to the bar. And keep in mind, as with most hood urchins, whether they're mothers or not, going to the club is something common that they do every week, every weekend. At least 2 of them go to the bar in the XTC Cabaret and they order food. Now, when they order food, they order it from what, by all accounts, was a Hispanic bartender. And that'll be relevant in a second. Just stick with me. After they order the food from the bartender, one of the women, I don't believe it was Shalonda at first, I believe it was her friend, asked for her change back. Okay? Now, I personally have only been to a bar one time in my life. The closest I've ever gone to bars, other than Murphy's Pub, like one time when I was a fucking college kid, way back in the day, is like TGI fucking Fridays. The restaurant and the little bar they have there. And I didn't order anything from the bar. I was just at a restaurant that had a fucking bar. That was it. I don't waste my time and I don't waste my money going to overcrowded places with drunken idiots that are looking for attention because, you know, they're too psychologically inferior to me to be able to enjoy their own company. I don't waste time, money, and effort on shit like that. But nonetheless, I've never been to a bar, but from my understanding, when you go to a bar, most bars or most clubs, or you go to most bars in clubs, or just to a bar that's a bar, you're expected to tip. Now, I don't think any state has a law that says that you have to tip. Okay? It is supposed to be, and to some extent, I agree, that it is supposed to be up to the customer at their sole discretion whether or not they're going to tip, because the tip is supposed to be based on the quality of service, or at least the customer's interpretation of the quality of service. If the person provided high quality service, they should get a high tip. If they provided low quality service, they should get a low tip or no tip, right? Now, I know that there are some restaurants and some clubs and bars that actually have a tip policy, okay, where that is allowed, okay, where, you know, whether you order food or drinks or whatever type of service you're getting, the tip for your server is added in whatever your charge, and you have to pay that price when you come in there, okay? But very few places comparatively do that. Most of them leave it up to the customer what they tip, okay? Now, you have to understand, and I even understand this as a contractor, that, you know, while I get very good base pay from time to time, a lot of people do work for tips, even though tips are not guaranteed. Okay, and there's also something called tip baiting. It's really a dirty fucking thing that's done. I'm not gonna waste time explaining it, but all you got to do is Google it. I don't believe that was the case here in XTC at this XTC Cabaret Lounge or whatever they call it, this nude club. Okay, but it does happen where somebody, sets a tip for a contractor or a server digitally through an app, and then as soon as the person gets done doing the work and delivering their package or whatever, the motherfucker, upon completion of the delivery, the motherfucker yanks the tip. I personally don't play that, but like I said, we ain't gonna go into, my business model, but I do know that it happens. I've heard of it. I've seen it. One dude got the police called on him. We ain't gonna, no, that's a separate video. Anyway, so I know that happened, but nonetheless, most places, okay, it's not law, and most places it's not policy, but it's common courtesy that you tip. Now, from what I understand, this entire argument between Shalonda, her 3 friends, and the staff at this club, it all started over them wanting their money back. Now, this part of this story, I'm kind of at a crossroads, because me personally, when I go into a place, unless I receive very shitty service, I almost always tip. Whether I've had to hitch an Uber ride from somebody because, my car or my service vehicle is being, maintenance at a mechanic shop, or whether I, decide to get myself a T-bone steak, somewhere, I almost always tip in cash. Okay, I make sure I tip because it's just kind of like holding the door open for somebody. It just kind of becomes muscle memory. You just tip, and it's just part of the culture. And I'm not saying I do it because it's a culture. I just feel like, I know that these people don't make a lot of money because the restaurant owner or the franchise knows that they're going to make a lot of money in tips. So a lot of these people are counting on those tips. So, and if they're nice to me and respectful and give me what I ordered, I tip. Now, you don't have to tip, but y'all all know that there was a saying back in the 90s, and I think it's still alive and breathing now, that one of the stereotypes about black people is that black people don't tip. Okay? Now, that's the one end of it. On the other side, I know that customer service, and y'all have heard me rant again, is one of the main things besides the black bitch and these stupid ass niggas that I rant against. Okay? Customer service nowadays has gone completely down the fucking drain. Okay? I mean, I'm talking from Costco to McDonald's. Okay? I've had so many incidents just over the course of the last month. Going KFC and some fucking bull dyke looking bitch looking stupid at me, not saying, "Can I help you, sir?" I'm standing at the register. She playing on her phone, right? And look up at me like, give me a stupid look. Like, I guess that look, her expression was supposed to be, "What you want, nigga?" Didn't say nothing. I'm just supposed to automatically start talking instead of waiting on her to stop playing on her fucking phone and get to the register, right? Then I had this other little punk, little Hispanic trash dude that had a fucking attitude at McDonald's, looked like he was fresh out of prison, trying to stare me down at the fucking drive-through window while I'm trying to order something from McDonald's because, I'm in between cities and I need to just grab something to eat right quick. Had to report his ass to his manager, right? Then I had this white bitch. Had this white trash bitch at Walmart while I'm trying to get my 2 of my tires on my service vehicle replaced, and I put in the order, and Walmart don't want you to drive off their lot after you put in the order, but I had to go take care of some other business right down the street. So I jump in my car, go down the street, right, come back in less than 20 minutes, still waiting in line anyway, you know, behind some other cars that haven't even gone before me by the time I get back. And they say, well, you got to put in the order again. We canceled it because you're not supposed to drive off the lot. I'm a little annoyed, but I'm like, okay, fine. It's towards the end of the day when they close the auto center at Walmart. And so I go back in there, put in the order again, right? Now in the auto center, they're scared that people are going to try to steal stuff, because the auto center is usually at the back or the far side of the store. They allow you to walk in the automatic doors, but in order to go out of the automatic doors, you have to, an employee has to actually let you out that way. Okay. So the white bitch, unbeknownst to me, she has an attitude because I left the parking lot and came back 20 minutes later, right? And she has to put the order in again. So she didn't say nothing, but I'm like, I put in the order again, then she goes to take care of another customer. She's looking down at the desk, and I go to walk, you know, out of the fucking store, through the tire auto center exit. And I ask her, hey, could you press the button? Because they got a little button behind the desk that they press to open up the doors. And I ask her, she ignores me. I ask her again, she ignores me. I'm like, okay, maybe she can't hear me, even though I am, you know, only like 20 feet away. So I step up a little closer. I say, excuse me, could you press that button? I don't want to get loud and ignorant with the bitch, but it's coming. The rage is coming in a minute. Because now, after the third time, I see she's being a disrespectful little cunt. Because she got an attitude about me leaving the store, right? And somehow this bitch thinks that, you know, this justifies her not letting a customer out. That's entrapment, by the way. Walmart can get sued, not to mention the fact that I'm a paying customer about to spend $200+ on your funky ass, right? So I'm like, oh, hell no. Is this bitch ignoring me? And right before the rage comes, and I show this bitch the other side of me, then a manager comes, or some other worker comes, sees me or hears me the third time when I ask her to press the button. He's like, oh, you trying to get out? I'm like, yeah. Okay. So what I do, I call corporate on that bitch. Yes, motherfucker. I snitch. When motherfuckers fuck with me, I fucking snitch. And get your ass fired and written the fuck up. That's the only thing that woman's fear bitch ass, her little attempted murdering ass, had right about me. I will snitch on your motherfucking ass if you piss me off. I don't give a fuck. But anyway, so, and that, again, these were just cases in the last month that I've had to deal with, okay? Customer service has gone down the drain so bad to the point where I think I even did a video on this back in 2019, didn't I? Yeah, I did. I did a whole skit on the shit. It's so bad now, these little ignorant ass white and black trash motherfuckers that they're hiring now, some of them think that they're the fucking customer and you're the employee. It's terrible, especially after the COVID-19 scamdemic, after, you know, all of that started to fizzle down and they were talking about this huge labor shortage. These fucking places just start. I mean, it was bad enough before that. But now, I don't know what's worse. Inflation or shitty ass customer service. I think it's a tie, to be honest with you. So on the other hand, I got to look at that and admit, okay, maybe, just maybe, even as ghetto as Shalonda and her friends are, maybe the Hispanic bartender bitch was, you know, given shitty service, and that's why they decided not to tip. But more than likely, it's probably because they're ghetto ignorant. They think the world revolves around them. They were not taught manners when they were, you know, young girls, and so they just grow up. Like I told y'all, black women are taught from an early age to be assholes in society. That, you know, loud, crass, argumentative. Even when they're in the wrong and you call them out, you know, they're going to be confrontational. This is just, and then when somebody flips the tables on their ass, or they write a check that their ass can't cash, they're taught when all else fails, you turn from a pit bull into a French poodle. You put your tail between your legs and you play the victim. That's what they're taught to do. So, you know, I'm really at a crossroads with how this whole situation started. Okay. I would have to have, unfortunately, because Shalonda Anderson, she actually went live on Facebook just minutes before her death. And you only see the part after they were asked to leave and they refused to leave. And the security guards came and surrounded the girls because, you know, they were getting ready to kick them out the club by force, right? So you don't really see the interaction that started the confrontation, but from what was being detailed by this legal advocacy group based in Dallas that is apparently representing the family of Shalonda Lofton Anderson with lawyers and support. They said that after the Shalonda Anderson and her friend asked for their change back, which legally they're fully within their rights to do, the bartender and them got into an argument. Okay. And the Hispanic bartender wound up calling one of the hood chicks a black puto, a black bitch. Puto in Spanish means bitch, I believe. And many years ago, back when I was working another gig, I had a coworker of mine, this little Mexican punk. I had him call me a little puto, right? Took me a while to figure out what he was saying because I don't speak Spanish. But when all the other Hispanic dudes started laughing, I was like, okay, I ain't gonna say what I called them back. It wasn't very nice. This is YouTube. But it was related to the Immigration and Naturalization Service. His friends, they laughed harder at my joke than my insult than his. But anyway, subject for another video. So I would have to see the interaction. Y'all know I cannot stand these Sheboon fucking whores. I cannot, these Chyenas, I can't stand them. Okay, but at the same, it's really a crossroad because I know that they would provide as shitty a customer service as they indirectly were accusing this Hispanic bartender of providing. So, you know, it's kind of a toss-up, but at the same time, I know how bad customer service, they really should call it customer disservice, is nowadays. Okay, I know. Okay, so I don't know. But after they asked for their change back, the understanding is a verbal argument ensued. Then in the midst of that verbal argument, you know, the black bitches, they probably said something disrespectful to the Hispanic bartender, who I understand was a female. And she responded back by calling one of them a black bitch. I mean, I can't get mad at that because I call these bitches black bitches all day, every day. So they call each other bitches. So it is what it is. And then after that, some threats were made. From what I understand, threats were made back and forth between the bartender and the black female patrons, and then somebody that wasn't the bartender involved themselves in the argument. That person wasn't identified, but it was believed to be another patron of the bar, and they wound up throwing water or something or another on these black females. After that, there was a scuffle, and then the manager asked the girls, the black girls, to leave the club. Okay? Now, usually what happens in these cases is that these bitches get to fighting in the club, right? And, you know, that's why they're kicked out. But in this case, from what I understand, it was just a argument over change and a light scuffle. Now, I'm going to say this. In spite of the black people don't tip stereotype and, you know, the crazy black bitch stereotype, I will say I cannot necessarily blame Shalonda Anderson and her friend for not tipping. I would have to see the exchange from the moment that they walked up to the bar to the moment they ordered food to the moment that they asked for their change back to form an opinion on that. Because that's just how bad customer service has gotten in my eyes. That I'm actually willing, at least up to this part of the story, to give a black bitch the benefit of the fucking doubt about why she wanted her change back and why she felt like she didn't need to tip. Okay? And again, tipping is a courtesy. You don't have to tip. Okay? It's assumed that you're gonna tip, but you don't have to tip. Okay? So, like I said, that's a toss-up. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that. But everything that happened after that really is indicative of what I told y'all, the ideological foundation that this entire topic is based on. That the Negro, these pea-brain niggas actually believe in their puny minds that facts don't always matter. Now, after the water was thrown on these bitches, okay, there was a light scuffle. No fists were thrown, but from what I understand, there was some grabbing and there was some shoving, not between them and the bartender, but between them and another customer that probably wasn't black, which is why they was the only ones asked to leave. And at that point, Shalonda Anderson flips on her camera phone and she goes live on Facebook. Now, when she's live on Facebook, I'm gonna be honest, I'm used to seeing black bitches act hysterically nutty. But for a hood rat and a Dallas Shikari lookalike hood rat at that, she's actually surprisingly calm in the video. I'll give her that. She's surprisingly calm. And I know a lot of niggas that saw the video like, huh? What the fuck? Understand this. Please understand this. When I say that this Lofton Anderson girl was being calm, what I mean is she wasn't acting ballistic, violent and threatening. She was loud and obnoxious, as black ratchet bitches typically are, and she was saying stupid shit towards the end like black bitches typically do, talking about how everybody, referring to the club staff and security, everybody's gay, for some strange, I don't know, I not for some strange reason, I know why they do it, because they come from an environment where black males are taught to value their manhood through the success or lack thereof of their dicks. So, she was talking about everybody gay. This is, in her ignorant ass mind, this is, an insult to these white security staff. She don't realize these aren't Pookie and Ray Ray motherfuckers. That means nothing to them. But nonetheless, she was saying stupid shit and she was loud and obnoxious. But when you compare the way Shalonda Lofton Anderson was acting both in and out of that club compared to the way some of her friends were acting, and the way black females typically act when they are faced with a hard reality check that, oh, I'm in a situation, in an environment where I can't actually do and say whatever the fuck I want. Oh, this person over here is checking me and putting me in my place. We know that they go completely ballistic, and unfortunately, some of them do have to be put down like mad dogs. Shalonda wasn't acting like that. Okay? Not in her defense, just stating the reality of the fact. But she's not doing what her and her friends have been asked to do, which is leave the premises. Okay? You have to understand. Negroes do not understand this again. Hence what the hood rat bitch told me. Facts don't always matter. Matter of fact, to these low IQ niggas, facts never matter. Okay? Fact. Private property of any business is just that. Private property of any business. Okay? Short of violating someone's civil rights, and, you know, people, you know, that argument can be made, but I doubt it would stick, knowing how these Getonians are. But other than, you know, violating a federal civil rights or discrimination laws, okay, a business, a private business, okay, has the right to refuse service to anyone. Okay, when you really look at this chick, you know, she's 32 years old, mother of 3 soon to be 4 illegitimate children. You know, the father wasn't around, probably 4 different daddies. But regardless of that, when you really look at this chick though, you could tell it's almost like she's ratchet, yes, but it's like she's had some experiences in this field with either white people or club security or one of her ex-baby daddies or something. It's almost like she's angry. She wants to go, you know, full ratchet, but she is like aware of her surroundings. It's like she knows that she's in a situation that's you know, where she's overwhelmed and outnumbered. It's like she knows that there's potential danger, because not only the way she was acting, you know, as calm as a ratchet hood bitch from Dallas could act, you know, where she's just only using her mouth. She's not getting in people's face. She's not putting her hands on nobody. But it's almost like she senses that there's the potential of danger there. Because you notice when they started pushing them, she just left. You know, at first when she thought that she had, you know, some type of leverage with the food, you know, them waiting on the food, she started to get loud. But then when the white guards was like, man, fuck these bitches, we tired of listening to these bitches, just get out, we don't give a fuck, right? She turned around and she started leaving without physical protest, right? Even when they started touching her pregnant hood rat friend, she only verbally protested. And once they got outside, now she said, she told one of her friends, no, they ready for that. You know, these bitch ass niggas or something, referring to security, they ready for that. Meaning she was that's the irony in all of this. I think she was letting her friend know, because her friend was trying to, or was getting physical or making threats. She was letting her friend know, you know, they got guns and we know they'll use them on our black ass. So we gotta be cool, right? And you know, this is something that a lot of Negroes, especially from that environment, don't seem to understand. You know, these Sha'Carri Richardson types, they don't understand that in some situations, even when you are in the right or you're wrong, but you feel like you're in the right, sometimes you just got to be cool. Okay? Sometimes you just got to be cool. Okay? And that means it's like that song from so many years ago. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to walk away, and you got to know when to run. Okay? You can't, you know, go, you know, into high order, you know, yelling and screaming and aggressive behavior in every situation, especially where guns are involved. Okay? If you feel like you can go toe to toe with a motherfucker, you know, in a fight, that's one thing. But where guns are involved, you got to chill the fuck out. Okay? Many people have found out the hard way, found this out, including Shalonda Lofton, the hard way, that sometimes you just got to be cool. Okay? Like, there was a situation where I was outside of a hospital trying to go to the emergency room, and this white, big, goofy ass white security guard was acting silly with me, you know, yelling at me to show my ID, and he was asking me why I was coming, and I'm looking at this motherfucker like, the fuck is wrong with this motherfucker? He looking at me crazy, right? But unbeknownst to me, when I walked up to the emergency room, just minutes before that, some pookie had came in via ambulance that had gotten shot, and some of his family members had followed him. Some of his family and friends had followed in behind him and caused a ruckus, and some of them had to be removed or arrested or detained because they were acting crazy. And so and also the hospital locked down after that, and they were also worried about, because the shooter was still on the loose. This was explained to me later when I called in a complaint about that security guard the next morning. He said that some people who knew the pookie, they got shot. They were causing a ruckus inside the hospital emergency waiting room. Plus the shooter was still on the loose, and police had informed them that there were threats that were made against the hospital because his, I guess these niggas call them ops. I guess that stands for opposition. Somebody was either real life or pranking to come to the hospital and finish him off. So they locked down the hospital, and that means that people can still come to the emergency room, but they got to check people in and out. So the security was on high alert, plus they got worked up by the confrontation that them and the police had with, the Gatonians. That was just minutes before I came, but see, I didn't know that, right? But if he acting crazy with me, I'm just trying to come get my stomach checked out, right? But did I go toe to toe with him? Did I say, all right, motherfucker, I'm gonna be back, let me go pop the trunk? No, because I knew what that would have led to. Okay, even if I got the ups on that one specific security guard, I would have done nothing but bring a hornet's nest down on my head, right? So even though I felt like he disrespected me, I played it cool. Okay, and I went to the emergency room the next morning. I called in a complaint to his supervisor, okay, who said that he was gonna coach him. Okay, sometimes you just gotta be cool. A lot of niggas don't understand that, which is why so many of them get wasted by one another, let alone security and cops and some of everybody else. Okay, now the legality of them asking you to leave the premises before giving you your change and before giving you your food, because from what Shalonda was saying in the video, they hadn't received their food order. So I'm also wondering if the advocacy group, I forget their name, but the one that was representing them at the press conference with the mother, and where they showed a second video clip of what happened other than Shalonda's feed. I'm also wondering if they're downplaying how much these black females in the club were doing. Okay, because I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know customer service is shitty, but still that business had, because you can actually sue them. Okay, like me, I'm actually getting ready to sue this punk ass company, Simplified Computers, and you can tell them I said so with they bitch ass. I'm actually getting ready to sue they punk ass little nerdo geek motherfuckers. Think that they don't have to honor their own warranty that says that both their products and their service, their labor, is under warranty. So if they don't fix something right, they have to give you your money back. And they want to argue with me that they're not going to honor that policy, so they getting ready to get sued, right? So my point is, at XTC Cabaret, it would be a very small claims suit. Well, I don't know, Texas law may be different, but if Texas law is similar to Illinois, and I don't see why it wouldn't be, you can actually file a small claims suit against them for that. Like, they're still under obligation to either give you what you ordered or give you your money back. But nonetheless, okay, when they ask you to leave the premises because they feel like you're disturbing the peace, or they just decide they don't like you, unless you can prove that they're doing it cost you black, you have to leave the premises. As a matter of fact, even if they aren't doing it cost you black, you got to leave the fucking premises. Okay, now you can sue them later and close their shit up, right, filing a discrimination lawsuit, but at the time being, you have to leave the premises. Okay, guys, how many times have we seen these Getonians, these savages, invade shopping malls and have these mass riots, or go in, these restaurants twerking? There was an infamous video a couple of years ago of a manager. Well, no, he was the owner of this black themed soul food restaurant. He had to tell these ignorant ass black bitches, these ignorant ass whores, to stop butt twerking in his restaurant. He told them, you're not gonna do that in my restaurant. If you don't like my rules, leave. Okay? We've seen these loudmouth heifers acting like a bunch of fucking animals. Okay? And they get kicked out, or they get the police called on them. This has happened so many tens of thousands of times. I personally have lost count. Okay? So my thinking is, okay, say worst case scenario, the bartender was disrespectful, didn't want to give them their change, and they're racist, as all these niggas in Dallas are claiming they are, even though probably 99% of the people at the fucking club are black. They got mad at Nelly for visiting the club a week after Shalonda got killed. But let's just say they're racist, bartender was disrespectful, provided poor customer service, and didn't give them their money back, didn't give them their change, didn't give them their money, or didn't give them their food. And then the owner was like, get the fuck out of my club, you dumbass nigger. Let's say worst case scenario. We know this didn't happen, but let's say worst case scenario, that's what happened. Guess what? Fact. At the time being, just like I told y'all, don't argue and get in confrontation with police officers on the scene, even if the cop is in the wrong on the scene. You get them later. Okay? After that situation on the scene has been concluded, because guess what, nigga? You ain't gonna win that confrontation on the scene. Even if you get the better of the officer on the scene, you're just gonna bring a hornet's nest down on your fucking head. Okay? Ask them guys at North Hollywood. They'll tell you. So, it's a fact. Okay? When you are on private property, whether it's somebody's private residence or whether it's somebody's private business, if it is privately owned, if it is government owned, and you are asked to leave, you have to leave. Okay? In most cases, if you don't leave, they'll just call the police on you. In the state of Texas, from what I understand, many security agencies act as a quasi law enforcement agency, meaning they're not police, but on private property where they are hired, they have very, very similar police powers. As a matter of fact, if you ever go to down to the Southwest, like Texas or New Mexico or Arizona, you'll notice like the security guards down there look a lot closer to law enforcement than they do, like up in the Midwest. Okay? They even dress the same. And if you look at these guards, they look very similar to the way cops look down in, like the Texas, Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona area. They got the whole green uniform get up with the vest and shit, or like a prison guard or something. But nonetheless, you're gonna either leave. It's called ask, tell, make. Either you're gonna leave voluntarily, or they're gonna make your black ass leave. Either way, you're leaving. Okay? That's the bottom line. I've been in a situation a couple of times where I got into it with a motherfucking manager that was being disrespectful, and they demanded that I leave. Now, me personally, because of the way I am and what I carry and what I roll, I knew I had to leave, because this one dude, this fucking Arab motherfucker, I was at this restaurant a couple of years ago. He was acting kind of crazy, and he was getting a little too close to me. And I'm like, I always said I don't know what'll happen to me psychologically if anybody ever put their hands on me. So I said, you know what? He demanded that I leave, so I'm gonna just go ahead and leave, because this dude touched me. I don't know what's gonna happen. So I went ahead and left. Because, you know, there's something deep down. Well, anyway. So, yeah. So, you know, if you're asked to leave or if you're told to leave, you got to leave. It don't matter whether you're at Walmart. I mean, you could be in the middle of shopping. Okay? You could be on the dance floor, squatting, twerking into some pookie or some white boy's penis. Okay? With his pants on, of course. You just wait until you get off the dance floor, go to the hotel, and do all that other stuff. You could be getting down on the dance floor, okay? Doing your little sex ritual. If security or management comes in the middle of you know, on the dance floor or in the lounge, getting drunk with your buddies, and they say, "Excuse me, sir, ma'am, we're going to ask that you leave the premises." Ain't no why. Ain't no we paid for this, bruh. You gotta leave, okay? You can protest it on your way out the door, as I and several other people have done, okay? You have to leave. Fact, niggas. Fact. It doesn't matter what you feel about it. It don't matter even if you haven't done anything wrong. It don't matter if they discriminating against you. You have to leave, okay? Just like if somebody invites you in their house, right? Say a white person, let's perfect scenario. White person invites you over their house, right? And they're like, after an hour, y'all sitting down having cocktails and coffee or some shit, laughing about the football game last night. Then all of a sudden, a strange look come on this white person's face. You ain't done nothing wrong, right? You thought this person was your friend, and all of a sudden they're like, "Nigga, get your black ass out my fucking house." You like, huh? They say, "I said get your black ass out my fucking house, nigga." Now, of course, you know, with some people, it ain't gonna be as easy at that point as leave my house, you know, but you gotta understand, if you do something rash, I mean, that's just gonna lead to legal consequences for your black ass. The smart thing to do would be to flip them off, say go fuck yourself, and turn around and leave. That'd be the smart thing to do. Okay? Know what their problem is? Don't know. One moment was I'm just the extreme examples are to help you understand. Okay? What these niggas did not understand, which is why they found themselves, as Negroes commonly do, in the predicament that they found themselves in. Okay? It does not, your emotions do not enter into the reality of what's going to happen to you in the real world if you make certain choices. Okay? I personally came to this conclusion a long time ago. Okay? When I was young, I did immature and dumb things until I wised up and realized this is only going to lead down one of a couple of roads. Okay? Jail or an early grave. Okay? So we got to change the way we do things. We got to change the way we think. Okay? I didn't have to hit that rock bottom to, you know, come to terms with reality that, you know, I needed to wise up and I needed to mature and I needed to, you know, act like a responsible adult. Okay? In spite of the way I felt about a situation, understand that, you know, you can have incriminating thoughts. Okay? You can feel certain ways, you know, but if you want to live, if you don't want to wind up behind bars, there's certain things, and I try to hammer this home with these niggas when it comes to these encounters with these punk ass police. I try to hammer this home with them, but a lot of these niggas just don't want to listen. Okay? I understand that you were misraised by a childish bitch to think that you can act and reason like a fucking child, a temper tantrum throwing child in every situation. But you have to understand, this is the reason why so many of you niggas find yourself getting your ass beat and killed, not only by white cops, but even more so by other niggas every single fucking day. Okay? I don't understand why niggas do not understand this concept. So, the girls refuse to leave. It's 4 of them. They're arguing You know, Shalonda, she tries to light a cigarette or whatever she lit up. One of the guards snatches it out of her hand. I don't know, maybe they had a no smoking policy at the store. He didn't touch her at first. He took it out of her hand. Or maybe they was just trying to coerce her to leave. They refused to leave, so the guards, you know, acting as bouncers, they basically start bouncing these bitches out the club. Get out. You won't ask you to leave. Now we're telling you to leave. You still won't leave. So now we're gonna physically make you leave. Okay. You know, whether you're talking about Black Lives Matter, you know, marching, you know, the black female's attitude, Pookie's attitude, you know, what I'm gonna start calling these Taz-relites, you know, like Taz, the idiot from YouTube. Niggas do not understand power and how power works. We've been over this, okay? They do not understand how power fucking works. If they understood how power works, okay, most of them would make themselves very, very fucking small, okay? Because one of the things they don't understand, niggas do not understand this. You know, niggas coming to me a few months ago, asking, are you gonna snitch? Are you gonna do this, do that, blah, 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 blah. Niggas don't understand power. They don't understand how it works. They dumb niggas always talking about code. These niggas don't have a flying fuck of a clue how power fucking works. That's one of the things I really understood. Because see, what a lot of y'all don't understand, and y'all saw me put up a community post about this, okay? While we're very prideful and very egotistical people, a group of people, and while some of us do individually have the tools to defend ourselves against, you know, if need be, against other individuals, we collectively do not have the power to defend ourselves, okay? I'm talking about on a military scale, okay? You have to understand that, you know, militarily, we are an inferior group of people, okay? We literally live and thrive. If you consider what happened during the reign of the Third Reich, okay, to Europe, and, you know, what we're told happened to the Jews and the Polish and all of that, and what Russia is trying to do to Ukraine unprovoked, okay, though they are fighting back. You have to, and what happens in Africa, you know, in places like Sudan, and in the past Somalia, and what happened in Albania and Kosovo, and all the shit, you know, all the chaos that is going on throughout the world, or is currently going on in the world, even in Latin America. You have to understand, black people, listen to me. Our group, because our ancestors and our forefathers, even them niggas in the civil rights movement, did not set down the foundations necessary to sow the seeds through which we could develop into a people who could become a so-called Wakanda, or a world superpower, okay? We live, we operate, we thrive at the permission and allowance of other race groups, particularly the Caucasian race, okay? Particularly these motherfuckers that people call the powers that be, okay? Understand this, that they tolerate us, and more specifically, they tolerate the ignorant, loudmouth, ratchet, self-entitled black cunt, because the ignorant, ratchet, loudmouth, self-entitled black cunt, okay, she assures white supremacy, as I've explained to y'all dozens of times. She ensures them that black America And more importantly, the black male will remain fucked up and never in our lifetime, and not in the lifetimes of our children, be in a position where he can be in contention with white supremacy. Okay? So, you know, like this ignorant black bitch that you hear rapping in the black background, the butt thought Megan Thee Stallion, okay? They tolerate you bitches, okay? They tolerate you because you are, for white supremacy, the modern day off-kilter, unsane black bitch is a necessary evil. Okay? In the degradation, destruction, and dismemberment of the black family, thus the black community, hence thus the black male. And so what a lot of the fatal mistake that a lot of these bitches make, okay, because of the way they've been raised, and really when you think about it in the overall scheme of things, it's really not their fault in a sense, okay? But when you get as old as this bitch, okay, and that's one thing that is so particular about these ratchet black thunder cunts, is that they literally grow up going, a lot of them go well into their 30s and 40s practicing the same ignorant ass, ghetto ass, ratchet ass mindset that they had when they were 18, 19, 20 years old. Okay? We're not even on the part about this bitch being a 32-year-old mother of 4 children at a fucking strip club at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay? Why aren't you at home tucking in your kids or making sure that they're tucked in? What the fuck are you doing out at 30-something years old acting like you fucking 20 years old? Okay? Nonetheless, okay? The fatal mistake that these bitches make is thinking that all this bullshit that this liberal, feminist, extremist toxicity teaches them, all these lies that white liberal hysteria affords them the permission to have, these delusions they have about themselves, are factual. Okay? Like being strong and independent and all that bullshit. Okay? As long as you are, understand this, black woman, as long as you and your ilk are wreaking havoc and spawning those who wreak havoc on the black community, they will allow you to thrive, okay, and do what you call winning, which is basically just blowing shit up, okay? But the moment you step into their territory, okay, understand this, bitch, you will, without a shadow of a doubt, get in line. You will act in order. If you don't, they will check your ass, or they will chuck your ass out the door, and if need be, by force. Okay? If you don't act in line, they're gonna put you in line. Okay? You're not gonna be over in their territory, whether you're bed winching with some white dude, or whether you're at a club or a store or a restaurant owned by them, and they have a certain mentality about you, okay, already, okay, and you think you're just gonna be over there doing whatever the fuck you want to do, like you do on social, like you're allowed to do on social media, or do in your own hood, in your own backyard. It don't work like that, okay? It does not fucking work like that. You Megan Thee Stallion type pork and bean brain idiots, y'all are tolerated, okay? in the overall scheme of things, you're like Cynthia G always talking about black men are dominated. You're dominated too. It's just that they make it seem like you're not as oppressed as black men, because they need you to believe that lie so you can keep on keeping on with the stupid fucking shit that you do. Okay? Again, this is all by design. Okay? So when you are told to leave an establishment, especially in a place like Texas, okay, and I understand the cities are a little different because, you know, they're just, every urban area in the country now is just overrun with these hood urchins. But nonetheless, if it's a white-owned establishment in a conservative or red state, especially, even if it's in a liberal state like mine, okay, you are going to do what the fuck they tell you to do, especially if it's on private property, okay? They'll pretend and act all stupid, you know, interviewing these celebrities, you know, like, oh, I can't wait for your music video, or I can't wait for your movie to come out. Oh, you're such an inspiration to other black women and girls. Oh, tell me how you do it. You know, the little naive, the little white bitch, you know, she'll act all naive while she's interviewing these whores and act like she's so in awe of the black bitch. But keep in mind, when you step into their territory, when you step on their turf, bitch, and you think you're gonna do what the fuck you want to do, you gonna find out, and you gonna find out real quick, just like these niggas. Okay, that's why we've been noticing a lot more of these black females have been getting gunned down, just like these niggas that y'all complain about. Okay, it is what it is. Now, the security starts shoving them out the door because they won't leave. You won't leave? Okay, ask, tell, make. We'll make you leave then. Fine. Once Yolanda and them get out the door, you can clearly see it in her Facebook live stream. Okay, they're being shoved, you know, towards the parking lot because, you know, they're resisting. Because, you know, they feel some type of way because now the security putting their hands on them. Truth be told, security wouldn't have had to put their hands on them if the bitches had just left. But because of this entitlement that these ignorant heifers have, they think literally they can do whatever the fuck they want anywhere. That's why whenever I'm out and about, you know, conducting business or running errands or shopping, okay, whether employee, customer, or just random hood thought, when I see those bitches, I do everything in my power to avoid them, okay? Because I know avoiding them is 95% avoiding confrontation, okay? Because they don't have a sense of self-preservation. And you don't ever want to be around anybody that does not have a common sense of self-preservation. Because it's like Aquasi said, a stupid motherfucker will get themselves and you fucked up or killed in ways you cannot even possibly imagine. And ultimately, this is what happened in this case. Now, keep in mind, because some people will say, well, the security guards didn't have no right to put their hands on them. Actually, if they're the law enforcement, if they're acting in a quasi law enforcement position over that club, they do have the right to put their hands on them if the people are refusing to leave the premises. They're doing the same thing that would happen if the police were there. If the police had been called there, okay? They're forcing them, they're escorting them off the property. They're doing the same thing that a bouncer would do to a nigger, okay? But somehow they think because they're black females, they're different or they're special. Wrong, okay? So the security guards not only want them to leave the club, they want them to leave the property completely. That includes the parking lot, okay? So they start, shoving them towards the parking lot. Now, from what I understand, it was hard for me to see because Shalonda's her Facebook live feed ended shortly after they left out of the club and were still being, physically pushed by the security guards. And just as a side note, I want you to pay special attention to how many security guards are at this fucking club. Okay, that lets you know it's a black club. And it also lets you know that it's a white-owned black club, more than likely. Because you got nothing but niggas here 9 chances out of 10, mostly niggas. But then it's honkies and crackers that are running security. I mean, what do you do with that? So, the fact that you have damn near a platoon, a fucking army platoon full of fucking security guards. I mean, it wasn't like 1 or 2 guards and like 1 or 2 bouncers at, like a regular club. It's like 10 of these motherfuckers. What does that tell you? Okay? They said, if you saw in the intro, that this club has a history of violence. What the liberal media won't tell you is that this club has a history of violent and criminal activity, including people killed. They said that Shalonda was the 5th person that got killed there. They have a history of violence, not because of the club, but because of the ignorant ass, stupid ass, and often self-entitled niggas that patronize and hang out around the motherfuckers. Okay? So because they've had so much violent crime there, including 5 deaths, okay, they gotta have damn near a small army. Okay? That don't make no fucking sense. Okay? Any business establishment that has to have that much armed security. I mean, they're like a damn near a small police force. Anybody that has to have that much fucking security at a little small club is obviously anticipating violent crime. Why? Because that is what regularly happens around these stupid fucking idiots. They patronize these type of places. Okay? That's why I said I wasn't gonna never bring her name back up, but there was this chick many years ago. She accused Mia Quasey and David Carroll of going to clubs, and she said she, based on her experience as a stripper, she could tell which club, what type of club we would go to, or what type of strippers we would be talking to when we were at the club. Like she said, I'd be talking to the black strippers, Quasey would be talking to the white strippers, and I shared her video with Quasey, and me and Quasey laughed our fucking ass off, because it was like, this bitch clearly don't know what the fuck she's talking about, because I would never spend my money, time, and effort in some shithole fucking place like that, with all them funky, half or unwashed asses full of sexually transmitted diseases. You would never find me in an environment like that. Not only the funky diseased bitches up there twirling around on the pole, but you got all these thirsty ass, half drunk, half high simps, fucking half and half motherfuckers. Oh God, I can't. All right, y'all. All right, I know I'm too hard in the paint. Okay, back to this. Anyway, so at some point, OC spray or pepper spray is deployed on one or all of these bitches, right? They spray pepper spray when the females are in the parking lot, when they claim that they were heading back to their cars. Okay, now admittedly, I will say this, okay? I would like to see, I know that club has to have security footage inside of the club. I would like to see this entire confrontation from the moment of its inception, okay? I'm talking about from when the bitches were at the club and got into it. I mean, when they were at the bar and got into it with the female Hispanic bartender, all the way up to when the shots were fired. okay? Because in Shalonda Lofton's video, okay, as far as hood thoughts go, at least because her friend was off camera, she seemed surprisingly calm. She was upset, talking shit, as black bitches typically do, but she wasn't, waving her arms and, getting physical or anything, or getting in people's faces or making threats. So again, see another thing I gotta keep in mind. I have to keep in mind, because it's like I want to get this bitch the benefit of the doubt, but I gotta keep in mind what black bitches do is, what niggas do, period, is they will provoke a situation. Okay? They'll agitate people. Okay? To the point where things get hot. Right? And then when the tables are turned on them, then they'll get quiet, or they'll start crying and playing the victim. So I don't know if this is a case of excessive force, where these broads were disrespected, and their money was took, or if this is a case of them starting shit that they couldn't finish and then playing the victim, and she only turns her camera phone on and goes on Facebook Live once they start playing the victim, after they simmer down and realize they're outnumbered and outgunned. Okay? I don't know. But what we do know is that Shalonda Lofton, finally at the butt end of this, she got hot about the way she was treated. Okay? If she was non-violent at first, but she got hot, she got stirred up, and I've been in those situations where people get me hot and they get me stirred up. But it don't take much with a black bitch, but nonetheless, she got hot, she got stirred up. They was putting their hands on her. They kicked them out without them getting their food or their change. They pepper sprayed them. They were pushing them, and there was a yelling match. The black girls was losing. So now you heard her in the video. She said that I got something for y'all or something like that, right? So she made an indirect threat, right? So she gets in her car. And when she gets in her car, okay, she goes to pull off, but as she's leaving the parking lot, she aims directly for the group of security officers. And so it looked like Shalonda was trying to be cool right up to the point where right before her and her friends were forced inside of their cars, and after they got maced, right? So then I think she figured when she was safe inside her vehicle, this is the moment that, I'm going to give the ultimate middle finger. Instead of using my finger, use this car, and, I'm going to drive into these motherfuckers, and if they don't get out of my way, then oh well. I don't know if she was intentionally trying to kill all of them, but I think her attitude was, okay, well, they say, that they say fuck us, then fuck them. And she figured she was going to use her car as, a tool of, as the muscle that she didn't have, or the nerve that she didn't have to fight back when they was in the club. That's a mistake, once again, when you're dealing with somebody that's armed, or when you're dealing with a series of people that's armed. Okay? Even if they're not armed, if they're in a position of authority, like the security guard that, was front me off in front of the hospital, they weren't armed with guns, they were only armed with tasers. If I was stupid, I could have easily got the ups on him, but then if I had done something rash or something stupid, my ass would be sitting in a prison cell right now. See? That's what I mean, man. You got to play it cool. You got to think about things rationally, even in the heat of the moment. That's what's supposed to separate adults from children. Which is also why when you look at a lot of these niggas and the trouble that they get themselves into, both male and female, okay? A lot of this stems from not only the environment that they come from, but it stems from the fact that a lot of these people, they were misraised into being grown adult children, okay? They're not mentally a lot of these motherfuckers in the hood, they don't evolve past 10 years old. That's a fact. All you got to do is listen to them, let alone look at how they behave. A lot of them, and I've said this for years, you know, we talked about the secret that's not so secret in Black America, which is the deterioration of mental health. Okay? A lot of these motherfuckers, it's not so much mental illness, it's a stunted mental growth. Okay? Their minds stop developing past grade school. Okay? So you have a lot of these, especially these females, but a lot of these dudes too, that it's like they're 30, 40 years old in their mid 20s, but outside of the, you know, instinctive animal instincts to have sex or you know, verbally communicate or eat food or shit and piss, like outside of those animal instincts, it's like they're just children that are of legal age. Okay? That's one of the main reasons why niggas find themselves in these situations, and then when they get in these situations, they don't understand how they wound up reaping the consequences that they reaped, because a lot of them mentally are children. Okay? You see this online all the time. What I don't understand, this is what I don't understand. I know how these Cheyennes are, and I know some of them, you know, are those big booger bear types, you know, that look like defensive linebackers, and even grown men have a hard time handling them. But I don't understand why, like, the entire security force had to not only come out into the parking lot, but group together so closely. Like, I understand they want to make sure the bitches left the parking space, but it seemed like they could spread out. They would have been more spread out, or they would have, you know, most of them would have stayed back at the entrance to the club, and maybe 2 or 3 of them just stayed out there in the parking lot once they got the bitches, you know, out of the club. And if they didn't leave the premises, then they call the police or whatever. Okay? But it's like, why was there like a large group of them like standing right there in the parking lot? I don't understand that. It's almost like they were like, you know, doing a riot, the police in riot gear, you know, they link arms and hold up shields. It's almost like they were trying to you know, present a show of force to these bitches, like, you know, we're in control, you're not, or something. But no matter what their motive was for that, okay, you know, now Shalonda Hood Rat, you know, the Shikari lookalike, America's favorite hood whore, she's hot. She's hot. She's pissed off. Now, let me tell you, okay, I've been in these situations in several different cases. I've been in these situations where I'm hot, okay, I'm having incriminating thoughts, I'm having violent thoughts, you know. But see, here is the difference between a mature, responsible adult and a grown child. Okay? Now, if somebody that's in a position of authority if you feel like they're abusing you, okay? And again, I'd have to see a broader perspective of what's going on to say for sure if the security and the staff and even the ownership of that place was out of line as far as how they treated these bitches. But listen, okay? If somebody in a position of authority is abusing you, there are ways to deal with that, okay? Lawsuits, contact the news, record them, make sure you have eyewitness accounts, okay? Press charges, okay? We've seen more and more, in more and more cases now, police and other people in positions of authority that abuse that authority being held accountable, okay? But one thing you can't do, one thing you can never do, even when you're hot, is act on those, is let your anger and your rage get the better of you. Because when you let your anger and rage get the better of you, okay, and we're all human, we've all had those flash points in our minds, okay, where we thought about doing something. But most of us didn't do it. Why? Because we knew, as I told y'all time and time again, the consequences and repercussion of doing it. Okay? That's what separates the girls from the women. That's what separates the boys from the men. Okay? Acting tough and acting aggressive is not going to get you anywhere but killed, in jail, or in prison. Okay? You're going to wind up either killing some or harming somebody else and getting yourself locked up, or you're going to wind up, getting yourself killed or harmed and possibly getting somebody else locked up. Okay? In Shalonda Lofton Anderson's case, we clearly now know, what road for her she took. No pun intended. But she aims her vehicle right at the group of motherfuckers. Now, the lawyers for the family are trying to claim that her face was, sprayed with pepper spray, so she couldn't see, and she was still being attacked by the security as they were leaving the parking lot. And that's why she accidentally, ran into the group of security officers as she was trying to leave the lot. No, I'll tell you exactly what that stupid bitch was doing. She was trying to get the final last say in the matter by aiming her car at the motherfuckers and running some of them over. At that point, because you got to understand, it's just like Tommy Sotomayor said so many years ago. And this goes back to what I said earlier in the video. America, the white supremacist system even, treats the black female like a retarded child. Okay? Really, they treat all of black America, except, the few of us sprinkled in there that have more than half a brain. They treat all of black America like retarded children. Okay? When these bitches are outside butt twerking and you just see, white people and other people walking past and, like they're not paying attention to it or like it's okay, that is tolerating. That does not mean that they accept what you're doing, you idiot bitch. That means they are tolerating you. Okay? Because you are a necessary evil. Okay? And so when you do certain things, you have to understand that they're not going to tolerate that. That they're going to retaliate or defend against that. And that is what happened with Shalonda. She figured that, and I did a video, I did a community post a few months ago of another case where a black bitch was, she was in a club and security had escorted her out of the club. She got upset about it. So she went to her car to get a gun, went back into the club, got into a shootout. And this was, I think, in Alabama. She got into a shootout with one of the security guards. And I think it was actually a black male security guard. His aim was a lot better than hers and he wound up killing her. Okay? So she decided to try to retaliate with a gun. But Shalonda Lofton, again, instead of acting like an adult and just leaving the scene, and filing a complaint with the corporate office or the ownership, or filing a discrimination lawsuit, or going to the news with her Facebook video, or pressing charges with the police for assault, or any of a number of things that civilized, law-abiding, mature adult human beings over the age of 30 would do. She decides to act like a temper tantrum throwing child and accelerate right into the group of security officers. Now keep in mind, because everybody's talking about what happened to her. Had this bitch not been killed within seconds of doing this, she would have likely been charged at the very least with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Okay, for aiming her car and then accelerating into the group of security guards, okay? Or possibly even attempted murder, right? The only reason she wasn't, because make no mistake, just like that bitch out there in LA that ironically was from Texas as well, but she was from the Houston area. The nurse that plowed her car into an intersection full of traffic at Slauson and La Brea in South Los Angeles. This bitch was intentionally trying to kill people because she was mad that she got kicked out of a club when she refused to leave, like so many hundreds of thousands of people do get kicked out of clubs every year in every city, in every state. And so she decides that she's going to attempt to murder people because she's mad. Okay? And so as a result of that, you know the saying, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Okay? I will give her the benefit of knowing how shitty customer service is, knowing how these places, they hire, people who are grade A certified assholes and straight up ethnic trash, regardless of race, to work these customer service jobs in these restaurants, these stores, these bars, these clubs, whatever. I will give her the benefit of the doubt that she received poor customer service and she might have been disrespected. I can't say because I wasn't there. Okay? But once she crosses the line over into trying to assault and then kill someone with her car, that is when she has thus forfeited her right to live. And to show you how crazy these bitches are, that's why again, people keep telling me about how weird it is that I choose to invest in dog culture. And I keep coming back with the question that nobody to this day has been able to give a legit quality answer to. What am I missing and what do I gain from being with this modern day bitch? What do I gain? What? I can tell you a lot of things that I could lose, like my life, my freedom, my finances, my sanity. But what do I gain from being with this bitch? And to show you, hold on. To show you how crazy these black bitches are, to show you how crazy they are. Not only did Shalonda Lofton try to ram a group of security guards, or just a group of people, she tried to ram a group of armed security guards. People who actually have guns. And get this, it even gets deeper. She tried to ram a group of armed security guards with her pregnant friend in the front passenger seat. What if, instead of just two of these guards opening fire, because from what I understand, a female security guard was actually pinned up against another vehicle after Shalonda Lofton, she actually hit one of these guards. Most of them were able to move out the way, as you can see in the video, but one security guard, she was actually hit and pinned, and her leg was broken in several places. She could have been killed. Okay? But I said, what if instead of two of these officers, because the guard that was injured after Shalonda hit her, she's the one who pulled her gun and opened fire, assumably through the windshield, and actually killed Shalonda in self-defense, which is why she wasn't charged. The other guard, I really think the city of Dallas, the Dallas District Attorney's Office, is just trying to appease, the Pookie and Ray Ray Savages of Ghettonia in Dallas by charging him, but the other security guard that opened fire, he was charged with aggravated assault because they said that he didn't have a valid reason to shoot after the other female guard had already shot Shalonda. Okay, but after she was shot, the car completely ran or partially ran over the guard that at first was pinned. Then Shalonda gets out. She runs a few yards from her car and she collapses. You can kind of see a little of what happened when she was in the vehicle because her pregnant friend was recording. You hear the shots and then you hear screams, right? What I understand, she exited the vehicle, ran after being shot, assumably not in the head, because if she was shot in the head, she wouldn't have got out and ran out, I don't think, at least. And she collapsed. You know, they took her to the hospital. A few hours later, she died. But I said to myself, what if instead of, 2 guards opening fire, what if all 10 of those fucking guards, or however many of them motherfuckers it was out there, what if all of them had to open fire on that fucking car? Okay? But not only her, but her pregnant friend might have been killed. And to, just exemplify how insane this is, what this bitch did, it was probably her pregnant friend that was egging her to do the shit. Also, something else that I noticed only while in the middle of producing this video project is that there was the entire argument on whether or not, the confrontation which led up to the shooting was justified was centered around, these girls not getting what they paid for. Okay? And you have heard me say that no matter who a person is, no matter what their sexual orientation, no matter what their level of intelligence, no matter how stupid they are, I do believe that a paying customer should get what they paid for. Now, if they're causing problems, then it would probably be wise to ban them, and it certainly would be wise not to open up shop, not to open up a business in a place where these type of nimrods seem to congregate or reside. Like, you would never see me if I had a brick and mortar business. I would never ever open up shop in some ghetto fucking area. I mean, that's just that's just a recipe for disaster. Quite frankly, I don't know why people do that. From the Arabs to blacks to whites, I don't know why people do that. It's like they want a challenge or something. I don't know. But anyway, well, ghetto people, they may be hood rat, but they have money. That's been proven on social media. How they get it is another story, but they do have money. So if you can weather the storm, I guess you can make, a lot of money. If you have something, weave or liquor or strip clubs or just clubs in general, or a whorehouse, I guess you can make a lot of money in the hood if you're willing to, or drugs, if you're willing to weather the storm. But I don't know. I'm just not built for that type of nerve-wracking activity. But nonetheless, a paying customer, if they paid for something, you should either give them their money back and tell them to get the fuck out of your face, or you should give them what they paid for. Here's the problem, okay? From everything that I have seen here, okay, and it took me going back and playing this video and, still shotting certain frames to realize at least one of these bitches actually did get her food. You see, on 2 different occasions, this ThugThot bitch in the red hair, she's holding a typical styrofoam to-go container that you usually get when you go to a restaurant and you have a to-go order, a pickup order. Okay, so them talking about they were waiting on their food, it looks to me like they got their food. Okay, you see this bitch holding this container on at least 2 occasions. What is that? Okay, now again, that does not say for certain that, you know, the rest of the girls got their food, because Shalonda was saying that she was waiting on her food too. Okay, but it looked like one of the bitches, because towards the end, right before they were kicked out of the club, I think it was the white manager or one of the security staff dudes, he, you know, signaled for his staff, his security people, to, you know, start pushing them, start physically forcing them out of the club. Okay, but you can clearly see here, after that happened, once they exited the club, you see at least one of these bitches with a container. Okay, so, you know, I have to assume that at this point that at least one of them got their food, and it may have been miscommunication with the bitches being loud and obnoxious, why, you know, if the rest of them didn't get their food, or maybe they did get their food, they just didn't like the fact that they were, you know, being forced to do something that they should have done on their own, but because they're wild, untamed hyenas that have been brought up to believe they can do whatever the fuck they want to do, you know, it led up to what it led up to. You know, all the mace being deployed, you know, being physically pushed out of the club, the bullets through the windshield, all that shit wouldn't happen if them bitches had to just A, shut the fuck up, and B, left the fucking club. But like I said, it looks to me like at least one of them did get what they paid for, she paid for. So there's some confusion in that, you know, because this does not confirm that they all got what they paid for. Because she was talking about one order was $49.99, another one was $59.99. Well, somebody got that 99. I don't know who it was. I guess it was her friend, because she's clearly holding a to-go order, unless you want me to believe that that container is empty. Okay, looked like they gave them their food and sent them on their fucking way. So what's the problem? I don't understand. What's the problem? I don't know. Maybe the other ones didn't get their food. Again, if they had been calmer and been more polite, maybe they would have let them stay and wait. But, you know, that's the consequences of being a hyena. That shit only work in the hood with Pookie. So now, again, you have to understand that, and I understood this years ago, but it was really hammered home when I saw this surveillance footage and the story behind this whole case in Dallas, where the hood thought half a decade ago that told me that facts don't always matter. I thought she was saying that just to try to compensate for the fact that she had lost the argument because I hit her with facts. But I now realize these bitches actually believe this stupid shit, because everybody's trying to paint Shalonda as a victim. You can't paint this bitch as a victim any more than you can paint Freddie Gray as a victim. Okay? You can't. And now, you know, Trayvon Martin is a little different. He was being stalked. He shouldn't have put his hands on Zimmerman, but he was being stalked. Yes, I do think George Zimmerman should have done prison time, because even though he was getting his ass kicked, okay, by Trayvon, the 911 operator clearly told him to leave the boy alone and wait for police to come, and he chose not to do that. Okay, he was trying to act like he was the police. Okay, and so he should have done time, but nonetheless, okay, Negroes got, you know, this, whenever you hear niggas get into an argument, you know, that gets really heated, they always threaten to assault somebody. You niggas bet, if y'all want to live, there's too many people out here with guns. Okay? If y'all want to live, you better learn how to simmer the fuck down. Okay? Because somebody will, if you want to act like a mad dog, somebody's going to treat you like a mad dog. That shit may fly in the hood. And really, actually, when you think about it, it don't fly in the hood. Because you niggas kill and slaughter each other more than any damn body. I remember me and a brother was just talking about that either over email or Facebook instant messaging about so many years ago when that black bitch in what was that, Hot Springs, Arkansas, she ran into a beauty salon with her two daughters, her two 18-year-old daughters, to jump another black bitch over a disagreement that they were having over some penis they were hopping up and down on. This was a 40-year-old rusty, dusty, crusty ass black bitch. Runs in there with her two daughters that she raised well, like daughter, like mother, to jump this bitch. But they didn't, the three of them, the trio, they didn't know that this black bitch that actually worked at the beauty salon had a gun. So the black bitch, once they start attacking her, she pulls a gun, blows both of this woman's daughter's brains out. They were half sisters. Killed both of them on the spot. The mama ran out the fucking store to avoid the gunfire. Okay, that was black bitch on black bitch crime. Okay, you got even a lot of these females are packing now. Okay, you got to, you know, this attitude that, you know, you gonna put your hands on everybody, or like Tupac and his posse at the MGM Grand did, Orlando Anderson, or whatever. You gonna run over somebody with your car? Like, you better simmer down, man, because you run into the wrong one, you gonna find out they the right one real quick. Okay, this bitch is you can't even remotely put this bitch in any, as far as I'm concerned, you cannot put Shalonda Lofton Anderson in any position whatsoever where she's a victim. Okay, even the remote possibility of her being a victim stopped from the moment she pressed the gas pedal on that fucking car and aimed that fucking car at that group of security guards. Is this me defending the white security guards because they're white and security guards? No, it is not. It's me looking at the evidence and clearly seeing that this was beyond a reasonable doubt self-defense. Okay? Now, we'll admit it was pretty stupid for the guards to be just standing there as she was driving off. But again, you cannot harm someone simply because you don't like the way you were treated or the way you were talked to. Okay? You can't do that. Okay? She had the benefit of the doubt, remote possibility of being a victim. When they didn't get their change, they got water thrown on them in the club, or that's the claim. Because they're going, of course, the people that are working for the family, they're going to tell you everything that, you know, happened to the bitches, but they ain't going to tell you what the bitches did to everybody else, right? They convene in that press conference. I noticed that they did with the mother of Shalonda, who was wearing fake eyelashes. No fucking surprise there. Like, again, like I said, just like in the Hot Springs, Arkansas case, like daughter, like mother. But nonetheless, they conveniently left out anything remotely related to holding Shalonda responsible for her actions in the situation. Refusing to leave the club, you know, aiming her car at the guards, at armed security guards as she was leaving the club. Okay? So because they left that out, I can't really fully take what they said as a credible source of information as to what happened. Okay? Because the question is, why did somebody that originally wasn't involved in the original confrontation between Shalonda and her friend and the bartender, how did that escalate to somebody that wasn't involved, possibly another patron, throwing water on them? That don't make no fucking sense. Okay? They were involved somehow in a physical altercation that was more than a light scuffle. That's why water got thrown on them, and that's probably why they were called black bitches, black putas. Okay? So that's the reality of it. Okay? The other reason why she's not a victim is because she's obviously a irresponsible thug thought. Okay? You're talking about a 30-plus-year-old person who's supposed to be a grown-ass woman who has 4 children at home. And she's outside at a fucking club, nigga. This tatted up hoe, this tatted up ghetto gagger is at a fucking club at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Probably butt twerking and some of everything else. Again, a 30-year-old acting like a fucking 20-year-old. Mother of 4 illegitimate children, because you know she didn't have no husband or no responsible man around. Okay? And not only a club, but a strip club at that. Getting drunk, getting high, right? And then putting not only herself, but her pregnant friend's life in jeopardy while trying to kill a group of people simply because they made her do what she should have been adult and mature enough to do on her own, which was leave when asked to leave. Okay? These are facts. These are fucking facts. You can't get around it. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you heard. I don't care what you saw. I don't care if you were there. Okay? And just like in the case of the little ThugThot up in where was that, Columbus, Ohio, or whatever, wherever that was last year, little 16-year-old ThugThot that tried to murder the other ThugThot with a butcher knife, and the white cop wound up shooting and killing her. And there was some black ignorant ass simp that jumped out talking about, you ain't gotta do that, bro. That was unnecessary. Oh yeah, let's forget the fact that the bitch was holding a goddamn giant ass butcher knife about to put the death blow on another bitch. She probably would have been doing the world a favor if she, well, anyway, like I said, this is YouTube. But anyway, just like in that case, in this case, in Dallas, as soon as Shalonda collapses to the ground from getting shot from the person that she just ran over and nearly killed, you had some ignorant ass nigger, you know, talking about, that's my homegirl. Y'all shot her? Y'all shot her? Yeah. Anybody would shoot her if she's trying to run over them and they have a chance to defend themselves. That's what you do with stupid motherfuckers that try to ram you with cars. You shoot them. What else are they supposed to do? What else are they supposed to do? Put yourself in a position of someone who's armed. Somebody aims their car at you, runs over your leg, okay? Is trying to completely finish you off, running you over after pinning you against another vehicle. What are you gonna do if you're in the presence of mind and you still are equipped and able to do it? You're gonna do the only thing you can do to defend your life. You're gonna shoot the bastard, right? So once again, man. Once a fucking year. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Understand this, black bitch. White America, really the entire world, they tolerate you. Okay? They allow you to act a fool up to the point where you cross them. When you cross them, you're gonna learn. Okay? And that's what I you know, I say this every time, you know, somebody tries to come up with some bullshit exaggeration of who and what Brian Solange is or what he's done. I say, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say about me, okay? And all the shit I talk, and I'm going to continue to talk my shit, okay? Both on and off of here. I'm going to continue to express the way I feel, the extremely low opinion that I have about the black bitch, the bitch in general, this community, society, government, and white supremacy. I'm going to continue to express myself, motherfucker, okay? But the one thing you have never been able to say about me is that I have ever physically harmed or hurt anyone, Okay? I've never tried to run over somebody with my car. Okay? I've never shot at anybody. I've never stabbed anybody. Okay? I've never blown anybody up. Okay? But you motherfuckers routinely, when you get worked up, when you get hot, you act like the world just fucking stops. Y'all routinely try to harm each other and commit violent, felonious crimes in the heat of passion, or just cause, you want to rob somebody, okay? Or you want to show how gangster you are, like some fucking retarded fucking rap music video, okay? So when you make these choices, I'm trying to school you so that the next black bitch that has a stupid idea to try to run over a group of security guards, you may get a few of them, but you guarantee if they're armed, they're going to get you right back. Okay? Understand this, black bitch. Number one, you are tolerated, not celebrated. Okay? They get what they need out of you. Pussy, throat, dysfunction, subject for another video, whatever. They get what they need out of you. Okay? But you are expendable. When you cross certain lines with certain people, you are going to be dealt with. You and all your insanity, all your loud mouth, all your ratchetness, all your foolishness, all your, thinking you're a bad bitch, stinky feet, weave, fake up and all. You will be stopped in your tracks, and maybe permanently. So keep it up. Keep it up, and there's just going to be more and more funerals. That's all I got to say. And this is not something that I wish upon you. I just know that it's going to happen. And listen, man. There's a part of me as a black person that, a very small part of me, is, what I think about these bitches, okay? A lot of them are either they're getting what they deserve or they're getting what they asked for. Sometimes those are the same thing. Sometimes they're not, okay? But in this case, I think she was getting what she asked for, running into them security guards. I'm not saying she deserved it. I'm just saying she was asking for it, okay? I mean, if you ram the security perimeter of fucking military barracks or, some government building or anywhere that's secure, I mean, there's a good chance you're going to get your head blown off. I mean, that's just is what it is. That don't mean you deserved it. That just means cause and effect. That's what's going to happen. Okay? If you step on a live wire, you're likely going to get electrocuted. Okay? If you jump over a balcony, you're likely going to wind up red mashed potatoes on the fucking concrete below. I mean, this is just reality, whether we like it or not. Okay? But there is a part of me that kind of does feel some type of way, when I see a video of, nothing but white honky motherfuckers, just imposing their will physically and otherwise on black people, even if they are ghetto. This does not make me pro-black. This does not make me sympathize with dumb niggas doing dumb nigga shit. It's just, there's just that human and that black part of me that's like, damn. Like, man, it's like that. Like, damn, man. I wish there was something that we could do to push back against that. But at the same time, you have to understand that the reason why Negroes are in this position, once again, as I said, is because our forefathers did not set the foundations. Okay? They thought that integrating with white people would resolve the problem. When in fact, as we've been over time and time again, it's actually made things worse. Okay? You introduce integration mixed with generation upon generation of people who have no proper home training because they were not raised in a, family oriented setting with a, working functional father and mother. And every generation is getting progressively worse. We're allowing these white liberals to lie to these bitches that they can raise children on their own. They're blowing up their heads with all this strong black mother bullshit, when we can see collectively that the black female by herself has epically failed in raising both her daughter and her son. Okay? And you mix these things, you mix these things together, and then you put these types of people that have been misraised in this environment where they're more animal than human into a so-called civilized society. Okay? You have a recipe for disaster. And don't get me wrong, that's one of the things that bothers me a little bit about this, is that, okay, white people didn't get here, they didn't get on top to where they could wear suit and ties and be on top of everything and, act all civilized. Now, they didn't get to that point by being civilized. They got there by being ruthless, divide and conquering savages. Okay? That, invaded people's land and all of that. But as I try to tell Negroes, we can't talk about the past. We got to talk about the present. We have to address the present. The present is the powers that be are mostly Caucasian and Asian in this world. Okay? The reality is we are integrated into a system in a society that we have very little power and control over. Okay? So hence thus the reality is, until we get to a point generationally where we are willing to unify and coordinate our resources and separate from this system that is doing nothing to really benefit us, okay? We have to comply and what they call get along with the program, so to speak, okay? That doesn't mean, and again, I was about to say that don't mean you have to worship white people. I just fucking forgot. You niggas already do that. You already do that. But that doesn't mean that you have to, that does not mean that you have to, revere the white supremacist system. That does mean that you have to play the game with the rules that are presented to you. Okay? Because if you don't play the games with the rules that are presented to you, the overlords of the game are going to essentially crush you. And unfortunately, that's what we see in this situation. It's a club that appeals to the black ghetto sector of Dallas, likely owned by a white person, that likely hired a mostly white security firm, okay? And they dealt with the niggas, the way they felt they need to be dealt with. And keep in mind, this is the first fatal shooting, okay? They've had several fatal incidents, most of them involving guns at that club, okay? And in spite of all that protesting, all that shouting, all that blocking cars that the niggas was doing back in late June, early July, that club is still operating. Okay? It still has strippers, it still has hoes, it still has some niggas coming there. Nelly included. Okay? If they're, and I also understand that, as I said, Negroes don't understand how power works. If they understood how power works, instead of organizing a march, I think Qween even alluded to this, and I know I spoke on it on several occasions. Niggas are still hypnotized by the lie that the liberal media fed into the brains of our grandparents and parents, that marching was what won. Martin Luther King and all the motherfuckers marching was what won the civil rights movement. That is not what won the civil rights movement. The intervention of the federal government, primarily the Supreme Court, and the Lyndon Baines Johnson, Kennedy, and Eisenhower administration intervention with military and federal marshals, along with the Supreme Court decisions and the enforcement of those decisions, is what won the civil rights movement. Okay? But see, the white motherfuckers, they want to make it seem like it was the marching that did that shit. And that's been a generational curse with Negroes, okay? You know why they allow you to march? You know why they say you can peacefully protest outside the White House or outside of a club? They say that because they know that that is no threat to them. Don't you niggas get that yet? That's no threat to them. You occupy and shut down a highway for a few days. You ain't gonna be there forever. Even if the police can't get you off the motherfucker. You ain't gonna be there. Why? Because eventually you gotta go home and sleep, eat, shit, and piss just like the rest of us. Okay? Or you gonna fall out and die. So they know that shit ain't gonna last. They're not worried about that. If these niggas were really organized, and granted, they are Getonians, okay? But I believe in live and let live. Now, I don't want to be nowhere around these motherfuckers, I tell you that, okay? But if you want a club, and there's plenty of them out there, plenty of black-owned clubs that allow this shit. If y'all want to act like, you know, look, ratchet shinies and you know, do what you do in the hood, okay? If you wanna have that, your version of fun and a good time, you know, being loud, obnoxious, silly, fucking whores. If that's what you want to do, then put your money together and start a chain of clubs nationwide where it's black owned. It's not only black security, but it's black people from the hood that are doing the fucking security, where they understand y'all can communicate through your ghetto vernacular, you know, with each other, and y'all understand how to resolve situations or de-escalate situations. You know, y'all speak the same language, y'all have the same gesture. Do that, okay? Because I try to, you know, many people have explained to you niggas, including Michelle Obama, that when you step outside of that hood environment, okay, that same attitude, that same shit that y'all do inside that environment ain't gonna work out here in the real world. It just don't. That's not how it works. More than likely, somebody gonna pull a gap on it. Whether they black or whether they white, somebody's gonna pull a gap on it. If you get to acting too out of pocket and they don't understand nor do they give a fuck, you know, that's just how you act, okay? To most of us civilized people, or most of us who consider ourselves civilized and not part of that hood culture, y'all are a bunch of fucking idiots, okay? So you got to understand that, you know, it's just like when they put certain animals in a certain entrapment, you know, at a zoo, okay? They're not gonna put lions with tigers and fucking gorillas with bears. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna have them motherfuckers separated, okay? And I think to some extent Malcolm X even spoke of this to a certain extent. He said he understood that black people were not in a position, and that's black people back then, when most black people were civilized and family oriented, okay? Even back then. But you know, he also spoke of the thuggetry and the drugs and all of that. But he said that black people were not in a position where they could peacefully and, you know, constructively and beneficially be integrated with white people. The only solution was complete separation. Okay? You got to go to your corner and let them go to theirs. Okay? That's the only way that works. But these motherfuckers don't understand it. And the white liberals don't never want you to figure that out, which is why they keep lying to these Getonian whores, like, you know, and they keep promoting these idiot bitches like Megan Thee Stallion and fucking Cardi B, because they need you as a degenerate that will not, which means basically that you cannot generate anything of actual worth and value. They need you to keep being the village idiot of this integrated society, okay, to ensure that their agendas get met and that your agendas of building your so-called Wakanda never get met. Okay? As long as you're integrated and you're on the bottom of the totem pole and they know that they can control everything, they will never have to worry about you as a competitor, as a challenge to their authority, to their power. Okay? And all they have to do is lie to you. See, that's why I don't feed niggas heads with lies. I feed them with what they need to know. I feed them with the truth. Whether they become a sometimey nigga and lie and like it or not. Okay? I tell these niggas, you as much of a bed buck as she is a bed wench. Now get mad, bitch. Go grab your passport and go over there and get AIDS, drugged and robbed in Colombia. I don't give a fuck. All you niggas just about are in the same fucking pot. And it's gonna be like that until y'all change the way you do things. Unfortunately, as David Carroll said before he passed away, that's likely not gonna happen in our lifetime. Didn't happen in his lifetime. Hence thus, these things will continue. Hence thus, why this club has had 5 fatal shootings, including 2 involving their security. They still operate, and dumb niggas are still going to that club. Because, let's put it like this. Let me put it to you like this. With all the shit that I have endured in life, and continue to endure, okay? There are people out there, for everything that people say about the things that come out of my mouth, or Tommy Sotomayor's mouth, okay, or David Carroll's mouth, or Kevin Samuel's mouth, for all of that, understand that there are people out there with a lot less tolerance and a lot less self-control than we have. So keep it up. You gonna learn. Who is that? Lewd foe? That ignorant ass Pookie. He say you gonna motherfucking learn. Like I said, if you don't need, it's just like David Carroll said, don't take my words on nothing. And just like he also said, I know that something's going to rise up and rear its ugly head, where I can sit down, smile, and tell you, I told you so. Talk to you later, guys.
Hoes used to clap for me happily. Now I'm bossed up and them same hoes mad at me, acting like they riding whole time trying to pass me, watching me go through it, still trying to drag me, acting like you winning if you think about it actually. Are they supporting you or really just attacking me? I don't give a fuck about a blog trying to bash me. I'm the shit per the Recording Academy. Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Hands on my knees, hands on my knees, hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Hands on my knees, hands on my knees.
Whoa, London bag. It's swell. It's her motherfucking birthday. Oh, 32 flavors of this bootylicious bubblegum. Whoa, work out, London bag.
Make sure you laugh.
Oh, work out, London bag. What you do? Whoa, work out, Lundy. Show the fuck out. Whoa. Turn up. Work out, Lundy. Whoa, work out, Shalonda. Split on the pole. Whoa.
Nigga, them folks ain't wrong. Bitch, stop the goddamn car and go to jail.
Stupid, regressive whores should have their mouth washed out with holy water. Good job, Senator.